my World of Warcraft tutorial. We're starting at the character load-in screen. Basically at this point you would enter your account name and your account password, and you would click the login button. At this point actually you'll be choosing what realm you want to play on. So you just pick between the different realms. If maybe you have a friend who plays, you would want to pick the same realm as they're playing on, or you can just totally wing it. And also there's different types of realms. There's normal ones, which actually there is no PvP. You would have to actually go into a battleground. There's PvP ones, which in PvP areas you can PvP with other players from the opposite faction, whether it be Alliance or Horde. And also there's role-playing and role-playing PvP. So I'd imagine you can understand what those are about. Role-playing would just be playing the role of the certain character that you're playing and doing that sort of thing. What we're going to do is we're just going to start on a role-playing server. It really doesn't matter for this stage of things. When you choose a different race, there's a different set of classes that's available to each race. Not every race can play every class, and not every class can play whichever race they want. So you have to kind of choose carefully and base your class decision on what you'd like to do in the game, and just do a quick read up on whether you'd like to play that class, and maybe take a look at the racials that are available to that class that make some minor differences in things like player versus player combat and things like that. When you're at the screen, you're actually going to be able to change the character's appearance. You can change your skin color, you can change the way your face looks, your hair, your gender, and also you can change your name. So whether you choose to make a random name, or you have a name or an avatar that you typically use when you're playing games, you can just enter that in, and hopefully somebody else hasn't taken it. So what I've done is I've made an undead warrior who is actually a part of the horde. And what happens here is this guy here, he has a quest for me. This yellow exclamation point over his head just essentially means that he has a quest that he wants me to do. So I can read through the quest, and here's the name of it, and he wants me to speak with Shadow Priest Savras. So that's what I'm going to do. Quests in this game are typically fairly short and fairly easy. There are some longer epic quests that you can do that take a bit more time, but typically questing is your main means of gaining levels and experience in World of Warcraft. So here we are at Shadow Priest Savras, and we talk to him, and he tells us what he wants to say, and we click on the next part of the quest, and we complete it. So basically what he wants us to do is to kill some zombies and some other mindless monsters. And essentially this game typically goes like this. You'll move from town to town, picking up the quests that the patrons of the town have for you, and then doing the quests that they ask you to for experience, and oftentimes different items that you can use to upgrade your character, and that'll help you to continue leveling. World of Warcraft is an online game, so there's going to be other players to interact with, and right here is another player who's just started out also, and he's actually a level 3 mage, so he's a little bit higher than I am. And he's wondering actually how to make a group, so you can see the little chat bubble above his head. I'll explain to him. So I'm just going to explain to him how to make a group. That's essentially how you create a group in World of Warcraft. I'll invite him. So we're approaching the quest giver who gave us this quest to go and slay these monsters, and he has a question mark over his head because we're finished with the quest. So at this point he'll say thank you or something along those lines, and he'll give us some rewards that we can choose from. And I'm going to choose the cloak, and then I'm going to complete the quest, and he gives us a little bit of money for our troubles also. And now that we've finished that quest, there are more available. That's essentially how the game goes from low to high end. Typically when you're done with a small area, you'll have a quest to go to the next area, so that the game has sort of a linear feel to it, and you can basically understand where it is that you're supposed to go, even if you haven't played the game before. One of the biggest, or I'd say one of the best tools you can have when you're playing World of Warcraft is friends. and information, because trying to find out where to go and trying to find out also what the best place is for your current level can often be one of the most annoying parts about playing as a new character. And I'll also include some links with this tutorial, how to basically level your character the most efficiently, and also where to get gear and everything for your character. There are so many features in World of Warcraft that I simply don't have time to cover everything, but there is a mailing system, and essentially what the mailing system does is it's a way for players to keep in touch with each other, and also exchange items without having to meet face to face. Since the World of Warcraft is such a large, well, actually the world of Azeroth is such a large place, it's hard to always be in the same general area as your friends. So they can simply, oh, I don't have enough time to play tonight, I'll just send these things to my friend. And for instance, if your friend is a blacksmith, he could blacksmith some items for you and then send them back to you the next day. And you wouldn't have to have actually gone to find your friend when he was online and gotten him to do that. You can just do it at your own leisure, and the mailbox system works essentially like a real mailbox system would in real life. So you have a lot of different choices when it comes to how you'd want to play your character, even if you think that the class you've started isn't the one for you. Once you start getting talents, it really changes the way the class plays. So if you at some point decide, I'm not sure I really like playing this way anymore, you can go to your class trainer and you can change your talents, and it's almost like playing a different character at that point. So you don't need to start an entirely new character because you're kind of sick of the current playstyle you're in. The object of this particular game, the name of the area is Warsong Gulch, is to grab the flag from the other end and carry it into our end and drop it right here. So it's typically a game of capture the flag, but a lot of times players will make it so that the game can last for hours and hours, because they'll hide flags or do things that are simply there to just be annoying. Personally, I really don't like this battleground, but it happened to be the one that popped first. You'll notice that my UI is actually a little bit different than the typical UI. I have a few different mods that change the interface of the game, just basically as a personal preference. There's certain things that you like to see that the normal Blizzard UI does not include, so I've downloaded those from Curse Gaming, and the link I will also include at the end of the tutorial. This is the auction house. In the auction house you can search for different items by whether they're trade goods or projectiles, quivers, recipes for your specific trade skill, armor, weapons, containers. There's different types of bags. So let's say we just started out and we want a good one-handed axe for our little enhancement shaman. So we can look through and we can be like, okay, I'm too low for those items. You can search by level, you can search by how much time is left, so you can, and basically it works on a bidding system. You can either buy out the item or you can bid on it, and hopefully somebody else doesn't buy it out or bid higher than you. And the bidding system didn't typically work very well, so typically people will buy out items. But that's essentially how the economy works in World of Warcraft. It's just player driven. Everyone puts their items on the auction house, and other players buy them, and the laws of supply and demand flourish in that environment.